bit right here. Looks like Kiki kind of straightens out, and Arito tries to avoid hitting him. So I'd have to give the advantage to Arito, and look at that.
Yeah, Arito gets it. My inexperienced eye, I must say, thought that probably Kiki was responsible for the little tussle they had just coming out of that hairpin. He just seemed to stutter slightly and lose his line through the exit of the hairpin. And sure enough, it is Arito who makes it to the final, which means it's all Japan in the final of our contest here. Achilles radial Formula Drift from Malaysia. 2,000 to 3,000 fans on hand, and they will see an all-Japanese contest to determine our Malaysian winner. We'll go for a quick pit stop. When we come back, we're bringing you the top 2 drivers of the day. It's Daiko against Arito, Japan against Japan.
The best driver in the world needs the best performance tire. There is only one choice. Achilles, tire you can trust.
Energize your body and mind with Drive M7 Energy Drink. Contains vitamins B12, B6, B2 and niacin. Gives you that refreshing taste. More energy, more stamina. Drink Drive.
Southeast Asia for being the best. We will meet again in Myanmar in 2013.
I want to talk about it, and I'm sure
we have been doing all the talking. It's your turn to speak your mind.
Speak up, because opinions matter.
Speak up. Log on now to espnstar.com/MNV. Suggest topics you want us to discuss on Monday Night Verdict, and you stand a chance to win fantastic prizes. So speak up and be heard, because we believe in expressing ourselves.
Looking for something to turn that frown upside down? Introducing the all-in-one Endorphin Boost to perk you up. With all the energizing goals, all the revitalizing matches, all the caffeine-laced defining moments you need. It's guaranteed to get you off your seat. The Premier League highlights on ESPN.
Welcome back, guys. Formula Drift from Malaysia. I've got good news for you. Not 1, 2 races left. We've got a 3rd place playoff, and we'll bring that to you before the final. But before we go to any of that, let me just remind you that this is a full weekend deal, and let's catch up with some of the things that go on the Saturday. location this is, Kuala Lumpur, to have Formula Drift. Of course, Ryan Sage, my co-commentator, is extensively experienced with this kind of event right around the world. How does this compare, Ryan?
You know, downtown KL is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in the world. It's also a unique setting for drifting in general. Having gone to Singapore, having gone to Indonesia, and traveled, even to Thailand last year to do an event. We've seen the sport of drifting really develop into something unique, and bringing in these unique venues, especially being down here in Merdeka Square, is one of the key aspects of promoting the sport.
All right, Ryan, we really very much hope to bring this event to Thailand next year once they've got over their flooding difficulties. For now, though, let's catch up with some of the sponsors that are involved in this superb event here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It's the Achilles Radial Formula Drift.
Well, our partnership with Driftback is really a fruitful one because we created a win-win situations between us, and we created some Formula Drift event as a sports entertainment package where young people that is partly our market for the tires are really into the drifting event, and we are so happy to bring the Formula Drift event to the Asia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand. The season is a lot of fun, and there's a lot of surprises and a lot of mishaps also, but in Singapore it is amazingly open, and it's in the F1 pit, and then we shifted to Jakarta where basically there is a lot of surprises where young people, a young up and coming drifter named Armando actually win as a second place winner, and now we are here in the really historic place of Merdeka Square. You cannot even fathom the excitement that we have, and in the drifter, that to end the season. Unfortunately, we would not have the Thailand due to the flood and everything. We wish them well. We will be back next year, but what a place to end the season, Merdeka Square. What we try to do is seek talent. When we seek talent, it means that anybody who we see that have a potential to be a winner and can be an ambassador for Achilles, we will seek them and actually bring them. Of course, what they need to have is first talent, second is attitude, and the third one is actually become an ambassador to grow it up that this is the tire for the youth, for the young, the hip, and those were the talent that we are trying to connect with. So that's why we are looking for any other talent. So whoever you're out there, you have a talent and good, and you can feel that you can be part of the drift, join the drifting team, and we'll see what you can do. I mean, I'll see you in the starting line.
We're very grateful to our sponsors and of course our event organizer, ESPN Star Sports Event Management Group. You're watching Star Sports, and when we come back we'll have the third and fourth place playoff for you, and that will be followed by the grand final between Daiko and Orido. You're watching Star Sports.
When the best driver in the world needs the best performance tire, there is only one choice. Achilles, tire you can trust.
2011 started fabulously well for me. I was at the Sydney Cricket Ground watching England win the Ashes. That wasn't the highlight. The Indian Grand Prix takes that. We were all a little bit concerned about whether the track would be ready in time, but in the end, that's probably the best circuit in the entire Formula One calendar. Forget all about Sebastian Vettel. The highlight of 2011 in Formula One is India.
My hopes for 2012, I hope Liverpool qualify for the UEFA Champions League. I hope that there is a US Grand Prix in Texas. And I also hope that the New York Knicks sign another superstar.
To all our viewers, happy holidays, everyone.
I've played more than 400 matches of top-flight football. I spent 5 seasons with Manchester United. I have won 2 Premier League titles, an FA Cup and a League Cup. I've earned 19 caps for England and played in a World Cup. and was first choice at right back for the Three Lions. Football is what I was born to excel at. I faced the best and I became the best. And now I do what I love on Star Sports.
Thanks for joining us in Dataran Merdeka. I hope you can see everything clearly back home on your TV. Not everyone gets quite as good a view, but as you can see, people are pretty keen to catch the action here. And in fact, just to the right of our commentary booth, people are in some pretty dangerous positions, looking out carefully to try and catch this third and fourth place playoff. It's an all-tie contest between Escudier and Kiki Saknana. These Thai drivers really headlining the sport in Thailand. It's really caught on in that country, hasn't it, Ryan?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've seen the development of some really awesome, incredibly talented teams put together by gentlemen such as Kiki Saknana and some of the other Thai drivers. And we've seen these guys be able to go out to the marketplace, bring in sponsorship for their teams, get it funded, and make it out to all 4 of these events that we have here in Southeast Asia. So they've done a great job growing the sport and bringing it to many, many fans that are watching it not only here live, but also on TV and around the globe.
Well, it would have been nice, of course, from a Thai perspective to see these guys in the final, but in many ways it's also very nice that they'll go head-to-head one last time, one Thai against another in this third and fourth place playoff. You can see there they just switch sides so that the lead driver will be Kiki. Kiki will be the lead driver on the right-hand side in the black car. And Escudier on the left-hand side. There we go, the lead driver, confirmation for you. Kiki Saknana in the 2 car, the darker of the 2 cars. And as the green flag drops, I'll hand it over to Ryan Sage.
Well, here we go. We'll find out who will be the first person on the podium today as Kiki Saknana blasts down the front straight, initiates and shoots over to the other side. A little bit shallow, but S is about 2 car lengths behind. Now closing the door, you get to see the exposed inside quarter panel of S right in front of us as he lays down a big plume of tire smoke. And Kiki Saknana out front with a little bit of an advantage, in my opinion. You can see, though, he's having a little bit of a difficulty in transitioning to that outside zone. I've seen that 3 or 4 times now, but at least his line is on point, and S falling behind.
And you're right, that front left panel has completely come off, hasn't it? The wheel there completely exposed to the elements. Really, these cars take a battering during the course of qualifying on the Saturday, and then several rounds of action on the Sunday. And I have to say, the cars are probably in worse shape than the barriers. Those are some sturdy barriers down there.
You don't want to be entering your car in a car show the next day, let's just say that.
They're away from the second race.
Here we go. S initiates, and he has some good angle on initiation. Shoots back around, at least makes it into that first zone. Now Kiki Saknana coming in on the inside, mashing the throttle through the finish line, and a closer run the second time around. Both drivers making a few mistakes. Ladies and gentlemen, who will be our 3rd place finisher here in Malaysia?
So smooth as they came round and out of that hairpin. No stuttering, no lack of smoothness on the brakes. It really was a thing to see. Riding in tandem, almost perfectly parallel. Very nice and smooth indeed. Down to the judges. Ryan's looking over his left shoulder to try and get some early indication for you. 3rd place at stake.
And I see some puzzled looks on the judges' faces over there. I see somebody scribbling something down. So we've got at least 1 judge that's got a score in the books, and a lot of the team members looking on, watching the judges as they make their final moves on who is going to be our 3rd place finisher.
Here's the announcement. It's Kiki. Kiki gets 3rd spot. But
and Daijiro Yoshihara.
did I hear one more time, Ryan? Kiki gets it. Kiki gets it. I was a little bit presumptuous, forgive me. The Master of Ceremonies was going through the options and finally concluded that Kiki got the judges' favors. It's very much like boxing, there's 3 judges there. So you can have a split decision, you can have a majority decision, and it's down to them. The fate of these drivers in the judges' hands, very experienced, of course. They've seen drifting all around the world and plenty of it. They know exactly what to look for. And we're in very safe hands with those guys. We've come through the 3rd and 4th place playoff, and this is the grand final. The reason everybody's been assembling here in Kuala Lumpur, it's Daigo Saito of Japan against Manabu Orido, also of Japan. The land of the rising sun, making our top 2 drivers here today. And these guys in attendance just ahead of nightfall are looking forward to our 2 best drivers of the day, putting in some fantastic action. Our Master of Ceremony encouraging some noise, and there's plenty of it around us here. Fans from Malaysia have come out, the green flag's gone down, Ryan, and they're off.
And here we go, Daigo Saito out front, Manabu Orido trying to chase him down. The fans are on their feet, thousands of people. Look at that angle by Daigo Saito, and Orido! Orido! Counter locks and could not pull out of it. He was trying to make a move on Saito into the hairpin and could not get out of that counter steer and nearly goes into the barricades.
The good news is he's driving away cleanly without any problems. We will see a second run, but has he thrown it away?
Well, he's definitely not in a good position because now Daigo Saito is going to be chasing him down, and that's really where he can excel. You can see right here, Daigo, look at that angle on the outside wall. Orido cuts it, counter steers, and cannot pull out of it, forcing him to be locked up as Saito crosses the line. So essentially, Daigo would need to spin or get the equivalent of a 0 for him to be knocked out. But this is the finals. This is the culmination of the last 6 months of events leading up to this point. This will be possibly the last run here at the Achilles Formula Drift in Malaysia. We will see it go down right now.
Orido leading, and he's got a lot to do.
Orido comes down the front straight into 3rd gear. Now the bottom of 4th, transitions off the wall. Nice job right there. And Daigo Saito trying to chase him down. Back bumper, Daigo almost makes a mistake. Points to the judges, and great car control by Daigo Saito.
What an immense way to climax here on the show. The crowd were roaring as they entered that hairpin.
Daigo
Again,
Saito
so
almost looked at as if he was looking at the judges through this hairpin like, hey man, I got this, no problem.
We don't really need to go to the judges, do we? It's got to be Daigo Saito, the man who has won the 2011 series. He's dominated the events this year, and it looks as if he's done the same thing again. This guy is self-driving.
Well, many people consider him to be one of, if not the best drivers in the world. And look at that, Steve. He wins the event, he wins the championship. What a successful run for Daigo Saito.
We've seen Daigo Saito dominate in Asia, Ryan. Just give us an idea of how he compares, I should say, with the very best drivers in the world.
Well, you know, he's won a number of championships in Japan. He's now made his way into Asia to compete here in Formula Drift. And so many people are asking, when is he going to come to America? When is he going to compete with the drivers there that many consider to be the top drivers in the world? But I think Daigo Saito certainly arguably is the best driver in the world, and he showed that here today against one of the best in Manabu Orido, and all the way through the long 4 stops that we had here for Formula Drift.
All right, Ryan, many thanks. Daigo Saito, your champion for today. We'll take one final rest, and we'll come back and watch him celebrate what has been a dominant season. A man who we reckon could go to the USA and really make a mark.
Kenapa ya ambil saja? Boleh bayar.